Hello, I'm Cat, and on this channel, we like Minecraft updates, and we like Minecraft update news. I'm sure that goes without saying, but one of the things we have to deal with every single update cycle is people spreading rumors and misinformation. But with the 1.16 update, these have gone to the next level where people are spreading them, insisting they are correct and backed up by something, when in fact they are not. In fact, even one of my close friends asked recently, hey, I've been hearing about this Never Reset thing, is it going to be happening or not? And I've seen this so widespread over the internet with no source to back it up, and this is despite the fact that Mojang's never done something like this for another biome, and that is what leads me to believe that, hey, yeah, there is misinformation out there, we have to try and combat it, so let's do a special Q&A Saturday, let's answer your biggest questions about the Nether update, and let's try and get some facts out there, because for instance, Oliver Stormwater asks, will there be any new naturally generated structure, or is the Nether Fortress getting an upgrade because they're really outdated, generated horribly, and honestly quite ugly? I do totally agree, compared to modern day Minecraft, the Nether Fortress is quite ugly. We haven't heard any word on an upgrade to that, but we have heard there is going to be a new Nether structure, and it's going to be for the Piglins. So you might have forgotten about this one because it was announced quite a while ago, and we still haven't seen it, despite Piglins being in the snapshot versions for over a month now. But there is going to be something called the Piglin Bastion, or just the Bastion. It's going to be a structure for the Piglins, kind of like how Minecraft's villagers have villages. There is going to be a Piglin Bastion for the Piglins. This is because they're kind of like Nether villagers that really don't like you if you're not wearing gold, and it's kind of like a fun Nether version of the village system, so they want to have a structure which you can guarantee you'll find them. And again, contrary to what you'll hear out there, there isn't a confirmed image of what the Piglin Bastion will look like right now. We've seen so many different images. It could vary from something looking like this to something looking like this for all we know. Neither of these images are accurate, neither of them came from Mojang. These are fan-made creations, but considering the fact that it's called a bastion, which is like a super fortified, like kind of house thing, I imagine unlike a NPC village where you're easily able to enter and leave, I imagine a Piglin Bastion is going to be heavily fortified with just a few entrances and exits. I mean, to give you an example, here is the Wikipedia page image for Bastion. As you can see, this is very fortified. It's not only an island, it looks like, but also there's a fort within that with then trenches around that. It's a very fortified place, and you can imagine the Piglins want to stay safe, so they're going to be using that to its max. Anyway, with that said, let's move to the second question, which comes in from the Zombie King 19. What happened to the mountain update? When is it coming out? So this is one of those cases where I'd say the misinformation has come from Minecraft themselves. We had a vote last year, for literally 6 months ago now, about which of 3 biomes we'd like to see updated in a future Minecraft update, and obviously the community voted for mountain, biome with goats and snowier snow and new mountain generation, 3 super exciting features, and we assumed, just like they had done before, that they would be added as a side feature of the next update. For instance, the update Aquatic had the Phantom in it, despite being kind of unlinked themes, and the Village and Pillage update had berries, campfires, and foxes. Remember, those were features we voted on, so you might logically conclude the next update they released after that would include the Mountain update, and the Buzzy Bees update did not, but then you'd be like, oh yeah, but the Nether update's the next major update, so the Nether update is going to update mountains, etc., right? Except that's not actually true. So this is something you can only find from one Mojang developer's tweets. It hasn't been said anywhere else besides Maria Lemon, who is one of the Minecraft developers, so you know it is pretty trustworthy. They say, Nether update, who expected that one? No one. Also, there seems to be some confusion going on since it wasn't entirely clear in the stream. Will the Nether and Mountain biome be updated in Java 1.15 or 1.16, or even a later update? Clarifying that the Nether update is 1.16, something we now know, but also that Mountains will come in a later update. That's right, it's not even confirmed that Mountains are 1.17, they are coming in some yet unknown update. Again, 1.17 is the earliest, which means that by the time this year's Minecon is held, and presumably it will have some form of vote, we won't even have the Mountain feature from last year. Over a year of delivery from, users voting on literally 3 features to it coming into the game, it's pretty tragic, but it's a thing that's happening, and that's why people say that the Mountain update, it's coming, just right around the corner, it's gonna be in the next one. It's the intuitive answer, it's the intuitive stance to take, but sadly, it's not the correct stance, and that's one of the things we talk about on this channel, is that sometimes you gotta confront your information head on, even when it's wrong. Anyway, with that said, let's move into Bryn Rin's question, who says, are they really combining the 15 update with 16? I was looking forward to getting the 15 update to fix some things, like hopefully the turtle eggs being finally being in the Bedrock version. So first of all, turtle eggs already exist, but yeah, the 1.15 update for Bedrock was going to be coming out sometime in the next few weeks. We were expecting it by April at the very latest. However, the 1.15 update has been scrapped, and instead, all of the 1.15 features, all of the things that are, going through beta, are instead going to be combined with 1.16. The reason behind this is simple. They want 1.16 to come out for Bedrock at the same time as it comes out for Java. They want it to be the Nether update for both platforms and contain the same features. features, so they can finally market Minecraft as being like, hey, the 1.16 update's here, because previously they tried to do this, but it's just confused everyone. Like, hey, the 1.14 update's here, except it's actually also called 1.13, and also it's got different features depending on your platform, but let's not question that. Let's just admit that it's cool that there are villages you can now pillage, and yeah, that's a very confusing message to send. So instead, they're combining the updates and making a 1.16, so they don't have to worry about releasing 1.15, bug fixing, etc. And yeah, it's really weird that they skip from 1.14 to 1.16. It might even seem like it's a made-up thing and that 1.15 will totally be out there, but just in case confirmation from the horse's mouth itself isn't enough, maybe it's enough to say, hey, go try and look at the Bedrock 1.3.0 update. You'll find that it doesn't exist. They just decided to skip it. We still to this day, the reason is kind of shaky on why. But yeah, Minecraft just skipped an update, and it looks like this is a thing they're willing to do to keep, version parity between the numbers. And so yeah, it's something we might see in the future with the Java edition, because historically, Bedrock edition has released far more updates than Java has. So 1.17 might be a Bedrock only update, and then 1.18 might come for Java and for Bedrock. We've yet to see how they do this going forwards, but they do intend to keep them synced up, which is an interesting future to go for. Anyway, with that said, let's move into the next question, which comes in from Craig the Lage. Is that how you meant to say that? Craig the Lay. Will the textures be different if we use the original texture pack on the new blocks and stuff in this update? So yeah, of course, the Nether update is adding a bunch of brand new blocks, and if you use the original texture pack, the classic textures, whatever you want to call it, you might question, will you be getting the new textures or will you be getting like some old version? They've confirmed they're not going to be updating the old texture pack things, which seems obvious when you say it, but basically if you use an older texture pack, the original one, any block that comes out after that texture pack was first released will look like the new version of it, because there is no classic version of Basalt, there is no classic version of the Nilium, etc. And yeah, this means that there's a few weird clashes, such as Never Gold Ore doesn't look so great, but otherwise you can play the original textures. They're just not releasing two versions of every texture for future updates, because it doesn't make any sense. Again, there's no such thing as a classic 1.16 feature like, oh, what would that look like for the Striders as well and all the other mobs, because again, you can't have a classic version of something if you never had it to begin with. This is the classic version of all the things that maybe in 10 years we'll look back all nostalgically at. That'd be kind of funny, right? But with that said, let's move into Surprise Withdrawal's question, who says, is there a real release date and one for Bedrock? So I choose to believe that real release wasn't just a typo, and instead they're like, is there a real release date? So is there a real release date yet? No, it has not been confirmed. We know, generally speaking, that Minecraft Java's plan was to release 2 updates a year, one in the first half, one in the second. They've only really pulled that off last year, with 1.14 being the big update coming out in April, I believe, and then 1.15 being the small update coming out in the second half of the year. So as far as Bedrock is concerned, again, you can imagine it's the exact same release date. 1.16 will come out on every platform at the same time, if it's being updated, sorry, console edition, but it'll come out at every platform at the same time, but that release date is not yet known. What I can tell you though, is that since we're expecting the Piglin Bastion still, and given that we're also expecting a few other major rebalances, the combat update's still under development, and also we still have things like there might be a brand new Nether biome coming in the future, because of all of these big question marks, there is still a lot of development to be done, and yeah, you might not be seeing an April release date, and instead you might be seeing one in May or June instead. It could be pushed back beyond that, but that's kind of the latest we expect to see, 1.16, but we don't have a specific date. I can come up with one like people do on the internet all the time, like it's gonna be May the 23rd. Trust me, you've got a 1 in like 365 chance of being right if you just guess a release date, but there isn't one that is out right now. Anyway, the next question is also important, because Ivan Ivranjinovic, is that your real name, or is that like just deliberately awful to say? Ivrajinovic, I guess is how you'd say that. Anyway, what is going to happen with your Nether covered in ice? It's a very good question, and the answer is we don't know for sure. There is a really decent chance that they're going to mess with a lot of things based on your biome, but given that all of your existing Nether, again, there's not going to be a Nether reset. Instead, what's going to happen is your existing Nether will count as the Nether waste biome. If they don't change the Nether waste biome, I'll be safe and fine. However, I think if they're going to make one of the biomes the hottest, the Nether waste is the one that makes sense, and if they're going to make it so hot that maybe ice melts, then yeah, we're going to have an issue on our hands, which is just like motivation to me, like finish the project now. If it turns into water later, that'll be kind of fun, but I really hope that they don't mess up with current Nethers. And again, something that they usually stick to is they try not to mess with existing features too much. That's why even though Mojang doesn't like iron farms, they admit people put a lot of effort into them, so they keep them around regardless. Anyway, the last question here comes from Kashiful Hake, who asks, are they going to release Render Dragon for Windows 10 along with the Nether update? So the Render Dragon, if I'm I'm not mistaken, is being used as part of the RTX update. It might be considered like a point update. Maybe that's what 1.15 will be, as opposed to what it is right now. But the Render Dragon, the new rendering engine, and all of the things that come along with it are coming fairly soon. That release date's being pushed, I think, because of the current situation in the world, because it involves a lot of NVIDIA help. But there is going to be a Render Dragon releasing, which is likely going to be before the Nether update, unless maybe the Nether update is coming out in the next month or two too, in which case, again, they might try to coincide them. But the Render Dragon is actually still coming out. However, the new menus and things like that, which are things people ask about all the time, we don't have a release date or even know if they're out there. Again, when it comes to new menus, it's one of those things they only kind of like sort of announced and then kind of made go away after a while. And the mountain update is something that we put to a vote. It's been announced in the most public of ways, but we still don't know when it's coming out beyond in the future, sometime in a Minecraft update coming soon to a game near you. And that's kind of tragic, but that's the situation where we're at. So these were people's questions about the Nether update. I hope by answering them, I've given some amount of help to all of you, because that's why I think Q&A Saturday is a good thing to exist. It's a thing I want to do at least every now and then to answer your big questions about something, because if there is something like update news, which I'm following every single week, both to make videos and because I'm just personally fascinated, maybe I can share that knowledge with all of you and help remove some of the disinformation from the world. I really do feel like disinformation is one of the biggest threats we have as humanity. It happens all the time in the most subtle ways, but you can fight it if you really want to by calling someone out. If they say something that's obviously false, say, hey, no, that's not correct. There needs to be shame when you spread false information without, like citing anything, without sourcing anything, with just being like, here is a false thing that I heard or came up with, and I'm going to guess is correct. That is a problem, because although it's effective, although humans for the longest time, we didn't have sources of information you could trust or not trust. It was just down to finding someone who had the information and getting it from them, and then you could spread it to someone else. But that was how humans worked for most of history. But now we have actual sophisticated ways of sharing information, and we should be trying our best to use them, and trying our best to use them correctly to share accurate, correct information, as opposed to sharing things that aren't correct, like the Nether reset, like everything else we've seen, pretend release dates, mock-ups of the Piglin Bastions that people are saying are the real structure. There's lots of things out there that are myths, lies, etc. And I want to try and cut through at least some of them on this channel, and I hope you all enjoyed it today. I hope you all enjoy Q&A Saturday and want to see it at some point in the future, because sadly our time together has come to an end, but I hope to see you in a future video. If you like this, you can like it, of course. You can subscribe. It's something I want you to do because you'll see more of my videos, and that is obviously a thing as a YouTuber you want to see. And you can turn on notifications if you want to increase your odds of seeing those videos daily on your homepage. We upload pretty much every single day on this channel, and if you want to see more of those, guess what? You can see videos tomorrow, including things like Seed Sunday and also Let's Play Monday. We're actually going to be fighting the Wither on Monday on hard difficulty, which again on Bedrock is a super ridiculous hard fight. If you want to see that, Let's Play Monday coming out on, you won't believe it, it's Monday. And yeah, thank you very much for watching and lending me your time. I hope you do consider subscribing, but either way, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.